This is the New American Media.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello everybody and welcome to Agree to Disagree here on thenewamericanmedia.com. I will be your host as I have been for the past 2.5 years, Brian Engelman. Welcome, hello, howdy. I am thankful this day after Thanksgiving that we have you checking us out and what we're working on over here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, much appreciated. So I will request that you do this. If you would be so kind, if you would be so kind as to go over and check us out on our various formats, I would be most appreciative of that. Check out our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. Check out our YouTube channel and subscribe, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Then you'll get an alert in your email every time that we post a new sports show. If you missed it, I did a sports show on the Unhappy Hour. I'm a Cleveland Indians, Browns, Cavs, and Buckeye fan. And so I did a show the day after Thanksgiving with the title of What Am I Thankful For as a Cleveland sports fan. So check that out because we talk about, we're human beings. We might disagree on procedural matters and political policy, but we're human beings, darn it. Some people agree with our philosophy, but they cheer for the Steelers or the Ravens somehow. God bless you, but no. But that's the point. If we can have different teams, we don't have to legitimately hate each other. Now, yes, I know that John Kasich, I know that he said to National Scarlet Letter Day to cross off the letter M on everything tomorrow. Because the Ohio State Buckeyes, the undefeated Ohio State Buckeyes are playing that team up north. You don't even say their name. I kind of like it. But that's a fun thing. Ohio State fans don't really hate the state of Michigan. Wolverines don't really hate Columbus. That's kind of a friendly rivalry. And it's not so friendly. But I like that. A little healthy competition is usually a good thing. But if we can disagree on sports, we can disagree on political policy. So anyway, check that out over there. Subscribe to the youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia channel. Search us on Facebook. Search The New American Media with spaces in between and like our page. We put totally different content on all these different mediums. So you'll get different stuff from us. Check us out all of these places. And on Twitter, we're at American_media_. That's American_media_. Follow us. So, without further ado, I want to bring in special guest co-host for today's program, Blake the Eccentric Walley. Blake is, well, I'll tell you what, we'll get into exactly what he does when we get him on the horn. Let's get him in now, shall we? I love the ringing part. When you just wonder if you're going to get voicemail.
Hey, hello.
Blake, it's Brian. You're live on Agree to Disagree. How you doing today, sir?
Not bad. How are you, Brian?
Oh, living the dream. Living the dream.
Not you. All right.
Well, what did you think I was going to say?
I don't know.
Well, how are you? Let's ask you that.
I am doing excellent today, Brian. This is one of the best days of my life.
Absolutely. Well, how was your Thanksgiving though? Did you have any really good conversations with your GOP uncle?
Negative. It was just a working day for me. Most of my family is back home, so no, I didn't have that kind of a Thanksgiving. So no, but how about you, Brian?
Oh, I had a really good experience. You kind of take stock this time of the year and ask, what are you thankful for? And I really do have a lot to be thankful for this time of year. Like, sarcastically, what are you thankful for, Blake? And realistically, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful for all the people out there who are uninsured and have pre-existing conditions to finally have access to health care.
Wow, good point. Good point.
Right.
No, it's pretty crazy that it was a coordinated effort to turn Thanksgiving into a PR campaign, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I guess because they're worried about it. This is kind of I think if you're a liberal progressive out there, this is probably a time of year where you're concerned because last year it was probably heated because of the recent election, and people probably were on polar opposite sides of how they wanted to get their person into power into the White House. But now you've looked at Obama just take a beating this year, and now your Republican uncle's going to come down with his Fox News. He's been watching Fox News. Their ratings are soaring. Your guy's looking really bad right now, and you're probably in for it, and you want to go run and hide somewhere. But fortunately for them, the DCCC. Actually, I don't even know
how many C's
that entirely stands for. I think it's 3 C's.
The DCCC?
The Democratic. And I hope I didn't delete all their emails because I find them very amusing to follow. But
wait,
yes.
I thought you printed them and wallpapered the rooms of your home with them.
Right.
For constant reminders of dear leader.
Yes, absolutely. Like the Obama bots that are on Twitter that just mindlessly throw out talking points.
So what were
hilarious?
Well, so what were some of the best talking points? What are some of the best ones that we had?
A lot of them were just basically the issue was they weren't like really simplified and like basic, easy to understand, common sense. We all know it's usually about a lot of like word trickery to basically confuse people into making it sound like you know what you're talking about, but it's actually very clever, just BS in a way, academic sounding BS. Let me see if I can pull something up here. I pulled this one up out of the Federalist.com, the 5 most insane Obamacare talking points you can expect to hear from your... Okay, this one is actually ones you might hear from your uncle, I guess, how to defend these, because I'm pulling up... interesting Mediaite article that came out about the spectacular collapse of Obamacare's holiday propaganda blitz.
Whoa, that I like that title. Say that again.
The spectacular collapse of Obamacare's holiday propaganda blitz.
Whew, okay, I am interested already.
Right, so the Affordable Care Act, Hindenburg, remember that?
Yes, I've been saying that for a while, yes.
The Hindenburg-like debut has been characterized as a series of spectacular failures, the latest being an attempt by President Barack Obama's political arm, Organizing for America, to furnish their followers with effective pro-Affordable Care Act talking points. And this army of true believers was instructed to bombard their unsuspecting kin with counterpoints to deflect the unceasing stream of bad Affordable Care Act news screaming at them from the television set. So it was a noble effort, albeit one that was mocked furiously on the right. But it wasn't conservatives that scuttled this operation. It was the mortifying inability of the, we'll just say, Obamacare's infrastructure to back up any of the claims the Obamacare supporters were preparing to make.
Now, you're making it sound like they had talking points that were factually incorrect, Blake. I find that hard to believe from this administration. That's our president, after all.
Right. Well, yeah, because Obamacare is doing so well. Why would they have to resort to this sort of, trickery to fool their uncle into thinking that, Obamacare is doing really great. You just got to give it some time and wait, and then, you can play around with some numbers and confuse them so they're not, prepared for certain things. And they go, I don't know.
So
was it... We talk about, do we cut the deficit or do we raise the debt? We just try to confuse people. Or how well the stock market is doing when everybody knows it's just inflated full of, pumped up with, Fed stimulus money.
Okay, so maybe we should. Do you have some of the list of bullet points in that article that you had? Can I pretend to be like the ignorant GOP uncle?
I would like to. I'm pulling up that one about the crazy uncle. Let's see here.
No,
I can find it. Because I know I had another one, so I didn't really know exactly where we would go off into.
I was with, yesterday, Blake, with some family. I would say maybe it was, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know, 8 or 10 of us.
Oh, wow.
And I think Obamacare came up twice as a quick joke, and that was about it. As a quick joke.
Quick joke, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Did you have any encounters over the weekend with anyone you've had conversations with?
I would welcome that sort of thing if anybody wanted to discuss that. But if I had a very liberal aunt or something like that, that would be a good time to.
Let me pretend to be the cousin home from Columbia for freshman. This is his first Thanksgiving back from being at a place like Columbia or something. Okay, you can be the ignorant uncle. Well, guys, this dinner, this is really really swell food. By the way, isn't it so great that now everybody in the country is insured by Obamacare?
Sorry, one more time, Brian. I did finally get it. The DCC Thanksgiving cheat sheet.
Oh no! You got it. Hold on. You have it in front of you though.
Yes, I do. All right. So here's the.
All right. Then change roles. Then I want you to be that person, and I'll be the ignorant GOP uncle, the ignorant uncle.
This one's it's talking about the myths that you can combat. So if your uncle says something like, "Well, hey, the Democrats haven't done anything this year," then you can memorize the talking points. Well, I don't know, Brian. Do you want to?
Hey, Blake. You know what?
This, or would
Blake,
you like me to?
I'm thankful for this food and everything, guys. But really, the Democrats haven't done anything in Congress or the White House this year. Doesn't that?
Well, maybe they're just looking to stick you because of last year. Because you said, because maybe you guys fought because Obama, won, and your uncle wanted Romney, and he's all bummed out and talking about how bad it's going to be, and you were laughing and thinking how great everything was going to be, and all of a sudden it just scandal after scandal, and then a big botched rollout at the end of the year, and now they're just absolutely getting crushed. They're worried about 2014, all the big landslide victories they're going to lose by next year's election. Just it's just every day it's more bad Obamacare news, and then your uncle comes into town, and then what are you going to say when your uncle starts busting your chops, so to speak, about how it's all played out? How would you want to be a Democrat this year? Like I said, I would think you just want to run and hide somewhere or have Thanksgiving somewhere else because you're just going to take abuse all night.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you deserve it. Okay, go ahead.
Well, absolutely. If I were that uncle type, I would say, I got kicked off my health insurance plan. Hey, smartass, tell me why Obamacare is so great. Huh, tough guy? Give me a talking point. Come on. Could
you imagine your little smart-ass nephew or something, and you're like, I can't wait to see that nephew when I get over for Thanksgiving, because I am going to figuratively crucify that poor kid on all the crap from last Thanksgiving. It's coming down. It's like your football team, no, we won't get into that analogy, but go ahead.
Like Ohio State whooping on that team up north. This weekend.
Michigan wins.
I don't even know that name. I don't even recognize that name.
Your uncle got drunk and rubbed it in. Ha ha! Michigan won, and then Ohio State wins, and you can't wait to see that uncle next Thanksgiving. Yeah.
All right. Well, what are some of the points that they told him to say?
All right. So if your uncle says something about Democrats haven't done anything this year, you can say, fact, House Democrats and President Obama have delivered more progress for America this year than George Bush and the Republicans did in the last 8.
Wow, pal, I haven't heard the name George Bush in a fortnight. He hasn't been the president for a really long time. Now, what he delivered progress? What in the hell does that mean, pal?
I know,
hold on, you lead that with fact. Here's a fact. How about if
Well,
you like your insurance,
if
if you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Period. So they lead that bullet point off with fact. He delivered more progress. Seriously, Blake, what in the hell does that mean?
Well, there's going to be some bullet points. There's a few points that they're going to back that up with that because it's a bold statement, like you said. You said it's a fact, so I'll tell you what they consider the delivering more progress in just this year alone than George Bush and the Republicans did in the last 8. So, Brian, tell you how about this? So you want to play? Okay, so you'll play the uncle here. So how about this? The Economic Recovery and Reinvestment Act to save and create millions of jobs and provide the largest middle class tax cut in history.
Wasn't Obamacare?
So what do you think about that, Uncle?
Wasn't Obamacare rolled a tax? Aren't you still inflating our dollars and boosting up this stock market with phony baloney monopoly money, and even changing the colors of our money to resemble monopoly money?
Whatever, Tea Party racist. You just watch Fox News all day.
Okay.
Is that what they tell you on Fox News, Brian?
Yeah, nice try. All right, what else do you back up delivering more progress? The one thing I was saying is our government is not progressive enough. We need more big government progressive policies. That'll really fix this thing. That's what I was thinking prior to hearing that. But what else? What's another fact?
How about, they've improved and expanded health care by providing affordable health care for 11 million children and guaranteeing advanced funding for veterans' medical care and lifting the ban on stem cell research.
I was booted off my plan by your dictator of a president and your Congress that rammed through this legislation where Nancy Pelosi said, I can't wait to pass it to find out what's in it. We knew what was in it. We were screaming, don't do this. And you clowns rammed this through, and now you're dealing with the consequences politically with a 39% approval rating because nobody likes you. You're bullies, and you don't have good ideas. The Republicans are the party of no ideas. The Democrats are the party of bad ideas. Either way, sonny boy, you're wrong, and you screwed me out of health insurance. Talk about me before you talk about all these air quote other people. And by the way, while you're talking about the Community Reinvestment Act and how great the economy's doing, how much did we win on the GM bailout? How much of a profit did that gain us as taxpayers since we loaned that money?
You just don't like the president because he's black. You watch too much Fox News. You're like
I get it. I get it
Koch
now.
brothers talking points.
You know what? I get this.
Why don't you go back to Breitbart and the Daily Caller?
Look, I get it now. So everything goes back to Tea Party, you're a racist. Why don't you Koch brothers, Fox News? Oh, no, this is good. Okay, what other bullet points do they have on here? This is a fun game. I think it's always going to end up with you saying the same stuff, no matter what I say.
How about the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act to finally ensure that women earn equal pay for equal work?
Show me the law that says men earn more money. Because I don't know what you're talking about, because that in my lifetime, that's never been policy anywhere written down.
I wonder if before this sheet came out, if any of them actually knew what the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act was. Is that like I don't even know. Was that a big news story somewhere? I don't remember.
What, you have a war on women? What, there's a war on
maybe
women?
Maybe I do. Maybe I just don't care.
What do you have, binders of women?
No, but I'm serious. Was anybody talking about this? I don't even know if this was...
Didn't Mark? Yeah, I don't know. I saw somewhere that. Okay, moving on. What's another?
All right, moving on. What about the credit card holders' Bill of Rights, Brian, to end unfair and anti-competitive practices?
Yeah, credit cards.
George Bush didn't do anything like that in 8 years, or did nothing.
Oh,
I don't even know.
Oh, he did nothing. Okay. Well, I don't know. I try not to use credit cards, so I'm not gonna. I don't have too much to fire back at on that one.
Right. I've heard of stuff like this. I don't know if it matters. How about the House passing landmark legislation to fight climate change and create green jobs and invest in clean energy? Are they kidding me? Okay, Brian, I'm sorry. I'm getting out of character.
No, you know what? Forget it. Throw the characters aside.
To the wolves. They are throwing people to the wolves with something like that. They really do they think people are going to win over their uncle with the climate change thing? Hasn't this thing been just completely discredited?
Let me change roles now. I'll be that. Okay. No, it's climate change, and it's because of oil. And Katrina was because of oil change. I mean, climate change. I mean, Katrina, Bush.
Right.
I mean, the Earth goes on galactic cycles. I mean, the Mayan long count calendar just came out December, 21st, 2012. There have been ice ages, there have been hot periods, and it's probably because of solar activity.
It's caused from the Koch brothers, the Tea Party, and SUVs.
That's right. Oh, that's right. My bad. No, I look, I do want energy to be cleaner. I want it to be free. I'm more interested in the Tesla model than opposed to the one that, well, out here, LADWP, they're in a huge scandal overcharging people. They had them sign up for automatic debits out of their checking account, and they were doing things where people had little monthly bills, and then they had glitches in their new software. Sound familiar, Obamacare? And they were pulling out like $17,000 from people's checking accounts. They were emptying people's checking accounts. So, I mean, I do want cleaner, better energy, but I want the private sector to do it. I don't want it to be subsidized like Solyndra. These huge, massive cluster messes, and I don't want to bail out GM for a huge loss. Let some private investors come in and fix it up, if you will. I don't know. What do you think? What would you say about climate change being completely debunked?
Yeah, I would say there's proven basically the last 16 years there's no evidence of anything. I mean, there was like record ice growth up in the Arctic. Yeah, I mean, basically by their old models, you would have thought that half the world would be like underwater by now, or showing polar bears drowning and their numbers were going to be declining, and they've actually gone up. I mean, they just really don't have anything to show so far. It's basically, the sun, which it has the biggest effect on everything. So you think with more people, more SUVs, more, burning carbon into the atmosphere or what have you, that there would be some kind of an increase in the climate change. You could argue that maybe periods of the United States had some hot times, but I mean, talking about the southern hemisphere too, the whole Earth as a whole has not gone up in temperature in 16 years, and then the actual scientists that are for climate change say it's caused by it's a pause in global warming or something like that. I mean, they're kind of backing off, and they're kind of going from 100% fact to, well, maybe it's 95% now. So I don't know. So
moving past the climate change, what's another thing that we're supposed to talk about? Our crazy uncle, things we're supposed to talk to our crazy uncle about at Thanksgiving to support this president and his agenda.
Let's see here. How about a myth of health insurance reform will lead to cuts in basic Medicare benefits and services? I don't know. Let's see. Kind of gets a little bit garbled after this, or gobbled. It's Thanksgiving.
I see what you did there. I need my drum roll. Ba-dum-bum. Thank you. I'll be here all night.
How about, raising, what is this now? Sorry, I got like a few different...
No.
They're all kind of blur together.
Take a look at it for a second, because I realized when I brought you in, I started announcing you, and I didn't do a proper job. Blake is the radio host over at freedomizerradio.com. Show Eccentric Perspective every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from noon to 1:30 p.m. Pacific. I often co-host with him over there. You can subscribe to his podcast by searching Eccentric Perspective and check out his homepage, eccentricperspective.com. But, no, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's not just the Obamacare talking points. If you have some other funny ones, I'd love to hear it. But otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on with the NSA, with CNN, MSNBC, with Black Friday, with, there's a lot of other stuff going on.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, you steer. Grab the wheel.
All right, let's see. That's interesting. Where should we go out? I mean, today is Black Friday after all. So, there's definitely... a lot of issues going on there. Violence in several states. Actually, I had to pull up I'm pulling up the Huffington Post. We got Black Friday marred by violence. Yes, the shopping frenzy surrounding Black Friday has already led to a number of violent incidents across the country. Starting as early as Thursday night, we have shootings and stabbings have been reported at retailers in several states. And of course, maybe people have heard about some of the violent episodes happened yesterday at a Kohl's. This would be like Chicago area, I believe, when an alleged shoplifter dragged a police officer from his car before being shot in the arm. So
wow.
yeah, I guess it happened in my backyard too, Las Vegas, another shooting. So yeah, there's some interesting videos being put out there today. People trampling each other, and looks like they're just practically rioting. I mean, I can't. I don't know, Brian. You were at Walmart this morning, weren't you? Did you say how much you love Black Friday, and you camp out there every year, right?
Well, okay. Truth be told, I did come back from a family gathering yesterday, and on the way, I did stop at a Best Buy post midnight. I did, Blake.
Wow.
It wasn't.
Oh my God.
It wasn't that bad.
Right.
I mean, it was busy, but it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't forearm shivers, and it wasn't busted kneecaps like Tanya. What was that? Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. I'm going way back to Jeff Gillooly now.
Right. Racketeering. Yeah.
No, but I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't like an MMA match in there. But yeah, there's conversation about whether stores should just be closed on Thanksgiving, give employees a day off to spend with the family, and then there's, well, I don't know, pay them time and a half. They can have dinner during the day and then, work around it, get time and a half or double pay. I don't know, it's a holiday. Go for it. What do you think?
I guess maybe some retailers can do that. If some places want to be open, I guess it's up to them if they want to do so or not. Yes, I guess if people, if they would like to pay those people more, I don't know exactly. Maybe they do pay them time and a half, though. But I mean, I feel bad for some of these people at Walmart or some of these chains that open up, at very early hours of the morning, or maybe open Thanksgiving Eve or something. I think that's kind of pushing it a little bit, in my opinion, and making these low wage earners work horrible hours when they should be spending time at home. Or why can't everyone have a day off? Can't they wait till 8 in the morning at least on Friday? Does it have to be some of this stuff that's going on at these wee hours? I don't know. I feel bad for them because they don't. Who knows? Do you know if they're getting paid more? I assume they must be getting some kind of time and a half at least, but I don't see a lot of talk about that. Either way, I still think it's kind of wrong in some ways.
Well, I've always been a bartender and a server, so if I didn't work, I didn't get paid. So
yeah, I worked yesterday. I mean, someone's got to. Vegas doesn't close. It kind of goes with the territory. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I mean, rioting over more crap to buy and put on a credit card. I don't know. It speaks poorly of our nation, Blake. Let's just say that it speaks poorly. Right,
and one of the top stories today on Drudge and InfoWars was the Mark Dice video. So where he dressed up as Santa and went around the local mall where he lives out in Southern California there, and was I don't know if it was on a bullhorn or whatever, but he was yelling out to all the people, not on a bullhorn, but giving them a hard time, talking about how they're basically buying a bunch of junk that they can't afford, and these poor people that have to be away from their families so they can go work in the mall at bizarre hours in the morning. I mean, it does reflect very poorly on our culture, especially when things are leading to the violence that we're seeing here. People getting trampled and hurt. It's out of control. And, I think it's something that we should all look back on someday and be embarrassed of ourselves.
Well, talking about people getting trampled, let's talk about, at the end of life, the care that people are supposed to get. Because we started with Obamacare, we're going to people getting trampled, and let's talk about death panels. I know these were very... they were the subject of extreme scrutiny, as they were discredited as just being false and ridiculous, and Sarah Palin and dummy politics, tinfoil hats, conspiracy theorists. Yeah. So talk about that one.
Well, one of the big stories earlier in the week was Mark Halperin, a senior political analyst for Time magazine, who was on a radio interview. and kind of admitted it, basically. He said, Halperin said the death penalty concept is a cornerstone of Obamacare. He said, it's, quote, it's built into the plan. It's not like a guess or like a judgment. That's going to be part of how costs are controlled. So later he kind of tried to backtrack a bit, but they're still talking about. I mean, everybody kind of knows. We just don't really. I don't know if there's actual is it written in that proof in those words? But I got to figure when you're on a big socialist, federal, medical program, at some point they're going to have to try to figure out their way to, how they're going to, put costs where, and are they going to give your 80-year-old grandmother a whole bunch of, put a whole bunch of money into her care while raising everybody's premiums? I mean, yeah, it gets to be, at some point, someone's going to have to, I guess, make those sorts of decisions, which is why it's dangerous to have this kind of a program put out there. Because, I don't know, because you maybe even get people that are going to say, hey, yeah, we don't want to pay for these, old hip replacements and expensive cancer treatments for a bunch of old people when we can just let them die and we can save the costs and pass those on. I don't know.
I thought that from day one, Blake. It was one of the 48 reasons why I didn't like Obamacare in concept or in actuality. And you see with the IRS scandal that when you're in power, you get to selectively figure out who you want to harass. Well, take the word harass out and then just say who you want to treat. There's only so much money to go around. Why don't you help the people that are sympathetic to your cause and let the others die? If I were a bad guy, that's what I'd do. I don't want anyone having that kind of power. Because when you get into positions of power, you need to be limited in your scope of power. That's kind of the essential component of the Constitution, which is just an understanding that people will gravitate toward massive dominance and power and control and manipulation, and just people go crazy with power, which is why you're supposed to limit them. So I've seen it with the IRS. They go after people they don't like. Why wouldn't they do the same with healthcare?
Yeah, because the people are saying, who's going to be running the death panels? Who's going to make these decisions? Who are unelected bureaucrats? And who knows where they draw the line where. There was an interesting speech put out by Bill Gates talking about, are they going to offer, health care to certain people, or could they hire 10 teachers? And you're trying to put that into perspective of, how we should spend money going forward. But why are we, putting a dollar amount on, somebody's life and health in a corrupt system? So, it gets pretty scary. These artificial dollar figures that we're saying, well, we can't take care of you so we can do other things. I mean, something's very wrong about the whole system like that. So, yeah, it's going to come out eventually. I mean, and they can't keep it under wraps forever. But, there's a good moment on Infowars. Not Infowars, it's actually on the 5. Infowars is covering the video clip of Bob Beckel blowing a gasket over the death panels, which is pretty funny, asking if the liberal royalty owes Sarah Palin an apology.
I think they do. I think that's obvious. I think it's obvious, but I mean, when you have basically Fox News giving one side of the story and almost everybody else in the mainstream media giving another side, and then the alternative media basically essentially it's would you say the alternative media is neither Republican nor Democrat? It's more freedom and liberty, more libertarian, just leave us alone and stop infringing on our rights of freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, freedom of
I would agree with that, yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, you
tends
have...
to be outside the spectrum, yeah. It's not right or left. There's people of different all stripes.
Well, I mean, how is the viewership doing for some of these other networks? You covered a story here, and I mean, if the other side is... If the we'll just call it the pro-Obama side, are making compelling points, I would imagine their ratings would be up if they're making compelling points and they're trustworthy. Is that what we're seeing?
Well, that tends to be what you see in news. Yes, you go to where they're actually discussing things and making sense.
And most, and I'm just saying that because most of the non-Fox media was blasting Sarah Palin for being wackadoodles. Sarah Palin and people who talked about death panels, just completely crazy. Places like CNN and MSNBC, nonstop pushing of this Obama agenda, and the ratings came out, and it's really not helping them right now with the president 39% approval rating, right?
It's even worse. It's wow. It's here we go. I'll switch this over to Noel Shepard. This was a big article on Drudge that was also linked on Drudge from Newsbusters here. So it's been a tough year for the liberal cable news outlets. And the data released Tuesday showed CNN shedding 48% of total viewers since last November, and MSNBC dropping 45%. So, I mean, they've lost almost half of their viewers. So, yeah, you can just imagine that. If you had 1 million people watching your shows this year, it's 500,000. I mean, that is an exodus. So, I mean, Fox is, and Fox, of course, is, they're down about 18%. So, I mean, they're still down. I mean, obviously, people just kind of get away when the mainstream media is just, you're tired of it and you're starting to see through the BS and things aren't going well and, you're not trustworthy anymore. But, I mean, at least, you can turn on Fox News when you want to get a little, coverage on, all the big scandals going on while, CNN and MSNBC pretend that there's no scandals going on and then just, put a bunch of, other filler of a bunch of stories that, no one cares about. You're going to start watching your ratings plummet. So, and you're totally, I mean, it's the mainstream as a whole, but CNN and MSNBC are absolutely getting crushed.
Well, there's a reason they're checking out the New American Media, and that includes you with what you're up to over on your website. So, it's a Thanksgiving weekend. I don't want to get into every story. I want to leave some stuff to cover on Monday and to let people, get a nice bite-sized program for today because they're probably pretty full from the turkey yesterday. So tell them about what you're doing over at Freedomizer. Tell them about your program. And I forgot to mention that you can be found on Twitter at Eccentric99, but just talk about it, because places like your network, our network, these are the places that are growing as people are tuning out from the mainstream propaganda. So time for a shameless, selfless plug. Go ahead. Let her rip.
All right. I am Blake Walley, or Blake the Eccentric, and I'm a radio host, a blogger, activist, rabble-rouser, what have you. So I do a radio show 3 days a week over at Freedomizer Radio, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12 to 1:30 Pacific Time. You can always get the podcast by searching iTunes for Eccentric Perspective. There's also a big archive over at Blog Talk. I also have a website at eccentricperspective.com where I've used to do a lot of writing. It's kind of I haven't really updated it a lot in the last year, but if you've never been there, it's definitely worth checking out. Just a different take on the, covering the media and what the alternative media is all about. And probably one of the first sites they shut down if they ever pass any legislation with, SOPA or ACTA or the new TPP or what are the other ones? I forget, CISPA, any of those types of bills that are trying to ram through. But anyway, I don't know, I forgot what else I was going to say, Brian. I think I lost my train of thought here.
It's sort of a blue pill, red pill, going down the rabbit hole kind of show, Blake.
Exactly.
I'm trying to remember Blake's commercial, something like that.
Red pill, blue pill, going down the rabbit hole kind of show featuring outside-the-box politics, philosophy, and gonzo journalism.
But be warned.
With knowledge comes responsibility, and you might not see the world the same way as I attempt to open your mind, speak to your common sense, and challenge your critical thinking skills.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done.
Thank you, Brian.
I don't know if I can remember. Well, actually, I remembered parts of yours, but no, definitely check out Blake's show. I tend to go co-host with him over there from time to time. A lot of good shows in the archive, a lot of interesting characters that call into the program. So definitely check it out. And Blake, I'm going to let you get going so you can enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend, and maybe we'll see an Ohio State win and a Cleveland Browns win. Are you watching any sports this weekend? Anything caught your eye yet?
I did watch a little bit of the Thanksgiving football, at least the Packers and Lions. I mean, I still kind of casually watch the NFL, but that's kind of about it for my bread and circus. But still lots of fun. How about you, Brian? I mean, I don't know if the Gophers are actually the Gophers are playing surprisingly well this year, but no, I'm not really sure what they're up to. But go ahead, Brian.
No, I'm looking forward to the Buckeyes and the Browns. The Buckeyes essentially because they haven't lost in 2 years. The Browns because I have to. It's more of a chore at this point of the season. But anyhow, absolutely, man. Whatever you intend to indulge in, I'll let you get to your weekend, and I want to thank you for joining us again. To another great Thanksgiving next year. Have a great year, and we'll be talking again soon. All right, Blake?
Thanks, Brian. Have a good one.
Take care. There goes Blake the Eccentric Walley, everybody. Please go follow him. I appreciate you checking us out here at thenewamericanmedia.com and our Agree to Disagree program. Check out all of our Agree to Disagree, Unconventional, The Unhappy Hour programs on our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Search us on Facebook by searching The New American Media with spaces in between, and like our page. And follow us on Twitter at American_media_. I'm very thankful to each and every one of our viewers, listeners, contributors, guests over the past 2.5 years. And we look forward to bringing you some really great things in 2013, 2014, and beyond. So thank you very much. I'm Brian Engelman, signing out. Peace.